we're going to attack the question of violence, which I've said that a safer community is like a table. Now, I've talked about the 4 aspects of the table. Let me talk about the first thing. The first thing is having a well-visible, well-managed police force. The second part of it is having a criminal justice system that functions and not revolving door, and those who are on parole, we're very guarded to ensure that they're close supervision. The third aspect of the element of balancing that table is having quality schools. The last element is having communities and parents who teach kids the difference between right and wrong. Now, you need all 4 legs of that table to add stability. Because any one leg that is weak, the table's going to be weak. Any one leg of that table, the table's going to be weak. I'm saying to you that as we try to move this city forward, we have to have that kind of comprehensive approach. And we have to work on it, and we have to stay with it, and we have to understand that we can reverse the trend of violence. Because violence is a learned behavior. Violence is a learned behavior. And we can reverse violence. Depends on where we're willing to put our investments. We're willing to talk about kindergarten and after-school programs and before programs. We talk about parenting and parenting responsibility. All of those elements are elements to change the environment. My theory is you change the environment, you change the behavior. That's what you have to do. Everybody always says to me, Dwight, how do you know that we can do this? Well, it's simple. 100 miles from here is New York City. New York City has 8 million people, and their homicide rate is in the ballpark of 500 to 600. It used to be 2,000. So New York was able, under 3 mayors, consistently to reverse the trend. And what we have not been able to do here in Philadelphia is to reverse the trend. That's what we haven't been able to do. And there's a direct effect on everyone. It's an effect on the businesses, it's an effect on where you work, it's an effect on where you live. It can impede the ability of any area to grow. Now, I know there was a report the other day that came out, was in Philadelphia Inquirer, that talked about the number of shooting victims. And in 2001, there were like 1,500 shooting victims. In 2007, it's over 2,000. There's been a 31% growth in shooting victims. Now, primarily in West Philly, primarily in North Philly, and primarily in Southwest Philly. So we know where they occur. We know they primarily occur for 18 years old to 40-year-old African-American males. We know more happen on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, African-American males 18 to 40. We know what areas, we know it, so we know far more today. But the question is there the willingness and the commitment on the part of political leadership, business leadership, faith-based leadership, community leadership, to offer a sustainable effort to reverse the question of violence? Is that there, and are we prepared to make those kind of commitments to reverse it? Because I would argue if we do not, it affects everything. It affects job growth, it affects business, it affects everything if we do not deal with that issue. And it is probably the #1 issue for the city. We have to have an education system that attacks the problem. And let's talk about education. This is what I think an education system should do. First, it should help be a part of contributing and reducing violence. Secondly, it should help move people out of poverty. Thirdly, it should help grow a middle class. And the thing that I love the most, that I think an education system should do, it should help promote the aspects of a democracy. Because informed citizens are less likely to participate in negative activity. John F. Kennedy said, "A rising tide raises all boats." The 21st century version of that, said by Bill Clinton, is the economy, stupid. So a good job, that's it, a good job, a productive job, if you're making money, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be involved in negative activity. If it's productive, if you're making money, if you happen to have health insurance, there's that word, health insurance. I said to you I was going to come back to that. Because if people have health insurance, if people have pension plans, all of those things, you get more productive citizens and more productive people if you have health insurance. And that's why it is outlandish in this country that 44,000 people could not have any form of health insurance. Health insurance is extremely essential in terms of any family. It's a little tough if somebody's trying to raise a family and they're not sure if they go to the hospital exactly who's going to take care of that responsibility. And that's where you come in. Your organization, your business is extremely important to the city and to your state. I was telling Bill earlier, he was commenting on how I have been supportive of you as an organization. And I appreciate what Bill had expressed, me being supportive of you. But I've understood the importance of each and every one of you, because without you, there's no health partners. You are essential. Just as I said, it starts with an individual. Individual leads to a community leads to the city. But it starts with an individual. What is health partners if it's not you? You are health partners. It's not the other way around. You as the individual help make the organization what it is today. Well, it's the same thing with the city, it's the same thing with the state, it's the same thing with the country. It starts with you. And that's what I think we have lost in our politics. Our politics has gotten somewhat disconnected from the individual. The individual doesn't feel that it makes a difference if you vote. Well, I stand here today saying to you, it does make a difference. We have a national debate going on right now in the country. Now, I don't know where you pro, anti, what's going on in Washington, but this is what you should understand. You should understand, because of that course of action that's going on in Washington, D.C., it's having effects on cities, states. You know, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania now has a $1.7 billion problem. And the federal government is attempting to balance on the backs of the states and the cities its budgetary priorities. That's going to have a direct effect on all of us. Now, you know, you could debate the question of what took place with 9/11, whatever, but I'm telling you, what's taking place in Iraq and Afghanistan is having a direct effect upon what is taking place in the country. And people may not look at it that way, but it is having an effect, positively or negatively. So you would say to yourself, why would I be talking about that kind of issue and running for the position of mayor? Because it's a question of priorities. It's a question of priorities. Should not our priorities be in early intervention and daycare and after-school programs? Or should our priority be investing in other kinds of things? That's what the debate has to be about. That's what an election is about. That's what an election is about. What kind of priorities do you think we should be pushing? And what about the solutions to those priorities? So what I believe is this. We have to address public safety. We have to make sure we got an education system that makes sure it meets all the needs of all the kids. We have to grow jobs and develop jobs. If we grow jobs, if we deal with violence, ultimately we make this a better place to live, work, and play. And we make it a better place to live, work, and play. You have many more people move. You expand the market. That's kind of where we are today. So I just say this to you in closing. One, I thank Health Partners for all the support that you've given me in the past. As an individual, through your PAC committee. Think of that again, through your PAC committee. I thank you especially through that, but I say to you that I just look forward to this opportunity. Hope that you can support my candidacy come May 15th. It's the day before my birthday. So if you want to give me, that's it, if you want to give me a birthday present, that would be a great way to give me a nice little birthday present. A birthday present where I'm asking to work for you. No one will work harder than I, 24/7. I'll be prepared to work. Thank you very much.